Hey guys, we have made it to Friday. We're talking about fasting. Did you know in the Guinness Book of World Records, the longest fast is by a guy named Agnes Barbieri who fasted for 382 days. And when he did this, there was all sorts of a celebration, fanfare, pictures, media. It was a big deal. Well, today we're going to look at scripture and see what Jesus says about fasting. What we're going to see is that Jesus says fasting is not all about being seen. Fasting is a way for us to turn our eyes and turn our hearts upon the Lord and remind ourselves of what and who we really depend on. We'll see that when we fast, it's withholding something from ourselves that we typically depend on in order to turn our eyes to Jesus, to remind ourselves that Jesus is the only one that we depend on, the one who gives us life, the one who gives us breath. We see in Jesus' ministry, before he starts, he goes off into the wilderness for 40 days and he fasts. He doesn't do this in front of people. He doesn't do this to bring attention to himself. He does this to grow in intimacy with God, to remind himself that God is the one who provides for him each and every time. You know, while he's out there in the wilderness, Satan comes to tempt him, and he tempts him to turn bread or stone into bread. And Jesus says, man cannot live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God, saying the thing that really sustains us, the thing that really keeps us going is not food, it's not material, it's not possessions, it is God himself. And so we're gonna fast together. That's our challenge. Fast together, whether it's from food or technology or something you typically depend on. And let me tell you this, let me challenge you with this. As you do that, it's gonna be uncomfortable. It's gonna hurt. You're gonna see other people eating or using their phones or doing these things. In that moment, don't turn to distraction to forget the hunger, or don't turn to distraction to forget the pain or whatever the uncomfortable part is. Turn to Jesus. Every time you feel that rumbling or every time you feel that urge to grab your phone, remind yourself, this is reminding me to look to Jesus. Say a prayer then. Jesus, would you sustain me? Would you fill me? Would you give me what I need to get through each moment of each day? And would you teach me more about who you are? That's what fasting is for. We withhold something that we usually depend on, so that we can focus on God. We can be reminded that he's the one who truly sustains us, and so that we can grow in intimacy with the creator of the universe. That's what we're gonna do today. So would you join us in this challenge to fast together? It's gonna be great.